women in general are taught to mask from basically conception anything that might be perceived as socially unacceptable. When you add ADHD to the mix, it compounds this. Hey, have you ever caught yourself acting one way at work, maybe another way with your friends, and maybe even another way at home? That split can feel exhausting and confusing, especially when you have ADHD. Since it is the week of Halloween, I thought it quite fitting that we talk about masking. Ha ha ha. I would try to do a witch's cackle, but I can't. Anyway, in today's episode, we are going to unpack why so many people with ADHD mask parts of themselves, how it shows up in daily life, and what you can do to start to feel more aligned with your real self. I'm Jory Houlihan, your guide for the dopamine deprived. This is ADHD and with Jory Houlihan, because it's not just focus, it's everything. And if you haven't already, please follow this show so you'll always have access to tools and insights when you need them. All right, so let's start with looking at what masking actually means when we are talking about people with ADHD. Masking is the habit of covering or changing parts of who you are to meet outside expectations. It's often unspoken. A lot of times we don't even know we're doing it, but it takes a huge amount of energy, no matter how you look at it. For example, maybe at work, you fold your hands so that you don't fidget. Maybe at school, you force yourself to stay quiet, even though your brain is bursting with amazing ideas. Ask me how I know this. With friends, you may rehearse conversations in your head so that you sound a little more on instead of going off on tangents. Any of these things sound familiar? And this is just a small sampling. So while most people mask on some level, as women, forget the ADHD part, women in general are taught to mask from basically conception, anything that might be perceived as socially unacceptable. When you add ADHD to the mix, it compounds this. So these behaviors are simply ways that your brain has learned to adapt, but they can leave you feeling like you're wearing a costume all the time. Masking isn't random. It often develops from repeated experiences of being told in some way, shape, or form that your natural style was wrong. It's not wrong. Was just different in most of those cases, but I digress. So many of us grew up hearing things like, sit still, stop talking, pay attention like everybody else. Like it was that easy. Over time, we start to internalize those things. Those comments teach us to hide or reshape our natural tendencies. And the need to fit in gets stronger when we are in environments where we may feel judged, like at school, in the workplace, or even with some family gatherings. Let's be honest, we all have that relative. And for some of you, unfortunately, you have that family. This leads to feeling like you have a variety of different identities, right? You have the version of yourself that you show your coworkers, your boss, your friends, your family. And then you have the version that is more true to you, but that you keep hidden. In the ADHD world, masking is super common, but it does not have to define your entire life. So let's take a look at some ways that we can maybe start to drop the mask a little bit in a way that feels safe and that will hopefully be practical for your circumstances. Masking doesn't mean dropping every filter overnight. That is literally impossible, and you probably don't even know what 90% of them are yet, okay? Some of you are going, wait, we mask? And that's okay. That is totally okay. It's about creating spaces where your real self feels safe and supported. Start with maybe just some self-awareness. Notice when you're masking and ask yourself questions when it's happening. What is causing me to mask right now? Is this serving me or is this just exhausting me? Is it the people that I'm with? What makes me think I can't be my real self when I'm around them? Then maybe choose a low stakes area where maybe you can drop the mask a little bit, maybe with a trusted friend, or maybe during a hobby you really love, something where you can just kind of let go, right? As always, you want to celebrate the small wins, like letting yourself stim openly or admitting that maybe you need a break because you're getting overstimulated in a current environment. You want to build routines and systems that support your actual brain instead of forcing it to run on rules that don't fit. Okay, something that I really want you to hear. There is a big difference between fitting in and belonging. They sound similar, right? But here's the difference. To fit in, that means you have to change who you are in order to be accepted. Belonging means you can be your outgoing, quote unquote, too much, chatty, interrupting, going off on tangents, whatever your ADHD looks like for you, self, and still be accepted. Masking is exhausting, and you shouldn't have to mask. You control your environment. So when you are doing the self-awareness on this, ask yourself, are the people that I am surrounding myself with, are these people who I can be myself with? Because if they aren't, that should tell you something. And you deserve better than that. You should be you. In the words of the great Elise Myers, if you don't know her, check her out she's like on everything, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. She says, if I'm too much, go find less. And literally every time I hear that, I just want to cry because it makes me so happy. Yes, go find less if I'm too much for you. All of you watching or listening, you deserve to be surrounded by people who love you for you. And if you keep people around you that make you feel like you have to mask all the time, you're keeping the doors closed to the people who want to be around you the way you are. And I know sometimes it's scary, and we also have that horrible people-pleasing tendency, and that also kind of plays a part in this as well. But the person you should be trying to please is you, which means surround yourself with good people. And hopefully you already are. But just in case, I want to say you deserve better. Okay, that is the end of my soapbox. All right. So next week, we are going to be talking about externalizing your thoughts when you have ADHD. This is another thing that can absolutely exhaust you if you don't do this. So you definitely want to catch that episode. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. You matter, and your energy matters, and I'm really happy that you chose to share it here. If this episode resonated with you, helped you see yourself maybe a little more clearly, please share it with a friend who may also need that too. And please don't forget to follow the podcast, leave a review, and also check out the ADHD Action Blueprint. It has tools to help you turn this self-awareness into action. The link is in the show notes. So until next time, you do you, and I mean that in a good way. And stay curious.